It's hot out here. This video may or may not be very good. My phone that I used to record with keeps overheating. My iPhone keeps doing the too hot and it shuts off. Or shuts off the video. If you follow me on Instagram, you must have seen this post from, I don't know, maybe a week ago. Today is July 21st. On July 26th, I head out on the road for a little trip. I'll be on the ice again. And I had hopes of turning this mask into something that works with the kit I'm going to wear. I've painted this mask a couple times, and this is the first time I've really messed it up. I went with a different type of paint that I thought was better, more of a commercial type paint, a higher end brand. And I don't know, I guess I didn't let it cure long enough or something. And I have like crazing in it all over the place, lines. Also, I noticed after like 3 days of it being dried, or after I painted it, when I taped it off to make like the white window area and stuff, the tape left lines everywhere, like in the paint. I guess the paint was still soft. So that project is now on the back burner. So since I still need some head protection, I reached out to my buddy Bona Halakainen from Bona Halakainen Customs. You may remember just recently he painted this really cool SK600 to match my Viper kit. I decided I wanted to go that route as my backup plan for some reason, with only about 5 days till I head out on the road. Asked him for some pointers, some tips, all that. He sent me back the list of instructions. Listen, he's a master craftsman. He is highly skilled. He has the tools and, all that supportive stuff that he needs to do these projects correctly. And I don't, and I'm in a hurry. I'm impatient. I'm going to make the best of using his instructions and making it work for me as an attempt to do this. So my plan is I'm going to paint an SK2000 shell to the color I need. This is a pretty rough shell. No, I've already done some cleaning. I've already kind of done step one, at least on the list that I'm going to show you. But I wanted to tell you, this shell has been around in my collection forever. I've never done anything with it. It's an SK2000 large. At some point in its life, someone had direct glued the foam inside. And so I've had this for several years and slowly been picking away at that glue and all. Finally decided I'll finish it off to use it as this one, because if I mess up, it's a shell not being used. This shell I'm going to be painting. Let me show you the list of instructions and the steps we're going to go through. Holy smokes, it's hot out here. So I took my buddy's instructions and I made myself a little list. I'll tell you the products I'm going to be using as well. So step one is wash the shell. I've already done that. Step two is going to be degrease the shell. The surfaces, you can't have any greases or anything on it. I don't know what product he used, but I went and got myself the pink stuff, and this is a degreaser cleaner product, safe for the environment and all that. I'm hoping that this does the trick. Step three, it's sanding with a specific type of sandpaper that I couldn't find locally and couldn't get in time for my project. Remember, I have to do all this prep work and then paint. And obviously I don't want to wear it the day after I paint it. It's probably not going to be cured. So I need to get all this prep work done right away so I can have this painted and let it cure for the next few days before I need it. So I did two things. First off, I bought 3M. This is like that maroonish brown color stuffing pads. These are a stripping pad. I think that along with some 400 grit emery fine sandpaper, and all I have are this 1-inch strip stuffed. I wish I had a pad of it or a sheet, but we're gonna make that work. Once I'm done with that, I'm then gonna degrease it again and rinse it off, and then from there we're gonna flame treat it. And the flame treating it just kind of does a micro surface of melting, and it changes a little bit of the chemical structure and stuff. All of these steps are there to help paint stick to HDPE plastic, which notoriously doesn't allow paint to be stuck to it. After the flame treatment, we are going to go on to adhesion promoter. This is going to bond with the plastic and allow paint to stick better. Really quickly, I get to do it like 3 minutes in between coats, and then after 10 minutes of the last coat, we move on
to the color, this is again Duplicolor. I'm staying within the same brand of all of these products so that I don't have any conflicts with the way the chemistry works, sometimes with different brands of paints and things. This is the closest color I could find. Looks like about 10 minutes in between light coats, and then about a half an hour after the final coat, we get to move on to a clear coat, several small or light coats of this, and then maybe a little heavier one at the end. So this is where we're going to get started. I'm going to put the paints away for now because it's like 100 degrees outside, and get started with the degreasing steps and all of that on the helmet, and then we'll move on from there.
Here's the cream we're going to use. I think it's open. Shake it up. I'm going to use a magic eraser to apply it because I don't mind if it scuffs it a little bit. That'll help remove even more of the imperfections and dirtiness and so on. Audio is garbage on this thing, so I'm going to talk kind of loud. My neighbors are going to wonder who I'm talking to, but did the degreasing. Not sure if I was able to get that all. I think I got part of that on video. Moving on, just rinsing it right now. I'm going to wipe it off. It's rinsing in nice clean water. Next will be to sand. Okay, something you might have noticed in that is I was occasionally holding it up and looking at it. I was looking for high gloss areas that I missed with the sanding. So that's just one thing to keep in mind. That way you get them, as well as all external raised edges. So any, like the top ridges on the back piece and stuff like that, you really want to make sure you get that good because those are high contact areas. So, all right, now we're going to move on to degreasing it one more time. Alright, fresh bucket of clean water here. Get it rinsed off real well. And then just going to let it kind of air dry for a few minutes. Then we'll go give it a flame treatment. Well, that was that. Simple as that. You saw me making sure that I got in these grooves here, as well as this back edge of the bottom there inside the holes. In here, it's those front grooves. Just making sure you just want the flame to touch that plastic and move on just real quick. You don't want to hold still. You don't want to melt it. It's time for the adhesion promoter, and we're doing light coats with about 2 to 3 minutes in between coats. So, time to wait about 2 to 3 minutes. I tell you, it smells like contact cement. Two to 3 more minutes. All right, been 3 minutes again. This is the last coating of this stuff. Okay, next we move right into the color, and we have to start that within 10 minutes. So I'll probably give it, I guess, 5 to 10 minutes. I'll be back. We'll start putting a coat of color on. It's been about 6 minutes. One thing I did in the intermediate there is I had forgotten. It's not a windy day here. It's actually pretty mild, but it's blazing hot. There's no bugs out really right now today at all. But what I did was I gently from the inside lifted these shell pieces up, and I put a ball of wrapped some tape back to itself so it'd be double-sided. and put it on the tops of these stakes and then set the helmets on so that the little bit of breeze we do get should hold it on there real well. I shouldn't have any problems. So, been shaking the can for probably 5 minutes. It's time to put the first light coat on. Really hoping that a lot of the scratchy marks start to fill in, hopefully. I don't really want it to look all scuffed up, but we'll see. We're going to give it about 10 minutes. We'll come back, throw another coat on. All right, see you back in 10 more. Well, 10 more minutes. We're going to hope we get one more coat out of it. Fill in a little more of the scratches, and then we'll see how it goes. All right, kids. This project's a failure. I'm still going to finish it just to see if the technique works, if these paints hold up. I can put it through some stress testing or something. Yeah, this shell is way too scratched up. It was white to begin with, so a lot of that's hidden on a white. Yes, I sanded it. Yes, I flame treated it, all that. I think it was a little worse for wear to start with, and the sanding didn't help for that. And now every flaw shows up, and I'm out of a can of paint. That's 3 coats already, and I'm going to try to touch a few spots here and there, maybe part of the front shell. I'll still clear coat it. We'll see what happens, but it's not even the right color blue now that it's drying. I don't think it's going to look good with my kit anyways. I have a backup to my backup plan for this project. Not as happy with that decision, but that's probably what I'm going to end up going with. And I'm sure I'll show that off in a future video. So let's see if we can get any paint out of this thing. I think my biggest problem is lack of good enough preparation on the surface of this. It doesn't look as bad as I thought it was. It looks a little better now. I doubt this is going to help, but we're going to try clear coating it anyways. We're going to do a couple of coats of it, 10 minutes apart, and then a heavy coat, maybe a heavier coat for coat number 3 or whatever. There's no rattle in this. Okay, 10 minutes. Well, that was the second coat I just did. It's not looking good for this project to be usable, in my opinion. Just the shell's kind of in rough shape. I knew that going into it. Some of the sanding marks didn't blend out. I don't know. So I'm going to put the third coat of clear on. After that last one, I realized I only probably have enough left in this can for a heavy coat. So not a light coat followed by heavy coat. So I'm going to go on it with a little bit of heavier coat. That's going to be the last coat. I'm going to pack up everything, put my stuff away, clean up my mess, leave that sitting in the sunlight so the UV rays will help cure it. And I guess next up, maybe tomorrow, I'll give you some show off of how it looks completed. And yeah, talk about the whole process and summarize it.
Well, let me give you my final thoughts on this project. I think the process works. I think I would have been better off using the correct products, and I may have to talk to Bona a little bit about the sanding technique, because I know I used emery cloth and that's not what he told me to use, but I want to maybe figure out how he does it, because I can tell on the finished product here, I can see some sanding marks. I didn't get it super smooth, but in my experience of messing with helmets like this and plastic in general, it's really hard to sand it, even going to a super fine grit without leaving some kind of sanding marks. Unfortunately, this is not going to work for what I needed. The blue is a lot different to me in like this much square inches or whatever versus the cap of the can. And it's way more of a medium blue than the light blue that I need. Again, I bought it because it was the closest only blue they really had in this kind of paint. but I thought that the metallic effect would give me more of a light blue shade to it, you know, with the way light reflects off it and so on. It's a day now, a day and a half later from finishing, and while I still feel like it probably needs some more time to cure, I have like flexed it around a little bit, stuff that wouldn't really happen once it's assembled and built out and padded and all that. But I'm not getting any cracking in my paint or my clear coat when I do that. So I am pretty impressed with that. I didn't mess around and like drop it or anything. And then ultimately, look, this is the other thing. I used a pretty rough shell. And I think that's the other problem. I should have used the nicest shell. This was white, and I think I said this in part of the video, like with scratches on it and stuff, it just doesn't really, it shows if you're looking for it, but it doesn't like glare at you. Once I put color to it with metallic effect and then a clear coat, like every scratch and skate cut and nick and ding and everything shows up really good on it. It though gives it that aged look, I guess, though. It makes it seem like this helmet must have been from a long time ago still. I was just hoping to have something a little cleaner, nicer, newer, whatever. So, yeah, the process seems to work. I told you all the products I used and the methods I followed. Hopefully this, you know, if you decide to tackle a project like this, it helps you out. And if you made it this far in the video, thanks for watching.